Hey y'all, Squirrel here. I'm really excited to be part of the Pomegranate Presents Deck of the Week, and we'll be kicking it off this week with the Tarot of Prague. Oh my God, this deck is absolutely beautiful. And keep in mind, this is a review, not a box opening. This deck is well loved and much used. This is the box. It's beautifully boxed. I love it, love it, love it. It's got the little shiny things. Now, this is the third edition cold cast because I am a sucker for shiny. And what cold cast means is that it has a thin metal overlay on the cards. I'm going to try not to blind you with the cards when I show them to you because they are like caca, caca, big time. Um, these are the backs. Of course, they come with a little white book. Let me show it to you just so you can see everything. There's a little white book. I even blinded you with the little white book. And the backs, they're in this beautiful gold. I do not know if the camera can do it justice. I will be getting a better camera in the very near future, but it's beautifully done and they just shine. Now, the Tarot of Prague was made in 2002. That's when they started making it. And they wanted to show the magic of the city that they worked in. So it's a lot of the artwork from Prague, the buildings, the murals, all kinds of things. I'm predominantly Rider-Waite based deck, and though this deck does gear toward Rider-Waite, it's a more advanced deck that you'll either want to use as an art deck or if you really know your tarot cards. But it's always fun to look at decks. Just be careful because it can get to be an expensive thing. Window shop, window shop. Um, the first card that you get is this one, and it's to show the authenticity. If you're gonna pay big bucks for this deck, make sure it comes with this card of authenticity. It's really important. So I'm not gonna go through the white book with you. I'm gonna let you read that on your own. Most of the time, white books are meant to be tossed. Use your intuition. I'm not going to tell you what the cards mean. I just want to show you some of the differences from the Rider-Waite's, why I love some of the cards, and why some of the cards just don't resonate with me. And I am still in search of that perfect deck where every single card screams at me. That every deck I've had so far, there's just this one card that says, ugh, and I'll show you which one it is. Um, this is a really good readable deck for me. Here is the Ace of Swords, and I'm going to show you what cold casting is. You see how when I've got it there, that crown and the leaves, the yods, just a highlight? That's metal. That's actually a sheer metal overlay that when it catches the lights right, oh my God, caw, caw, I'm in heaven. So that's the Ace of Swords, very Rider-Waite like. Oh, let me blind you. Very Rider-Waite like, but you've got the little city of Prague in the background. They did such a beautiful job with this deck. I love this particular card. Um, this is one of the statues. You see how his little crown is shining like that? That is not because of the camera or the lighting. That crown is truly made of metal. A little bit different, the Two of Swords. She's standing up. I'm comparing it to the Rider-Waite in case you're wondering. And she's got the little lion there. So you got to remember with the art, you're going to have a couple of different interpretations. You're not going to be able to interpret it by the book like you would a Rider-Waite. Art changes everything. That Three of Swords is completely different with those little angels holding up that heart. Instead of seeing absolute heartbreak there, like you would in a Rider-Waite deck or a Rider-Waite clone, those little angels are supporting that heart. So it puts a whole little slant on it. It might still have pain and sorrow involved, but there's a lot of support involved. Just that changes the whole art completely. Now, if a deck changes the meaning of a card for you, don't just automatically put it down and say, I can't read that. Study the deck, get to know the deck, use the art to help with your interpretation, because just because it's not the same exact thing as you're used to doesn't mean it's not readable. It's just going to speak to you in a different way. Never force another deck's interpretation into the deck you're reading. This is absolutely one of my favorite cards. You see how shiny that dragon is. But in the Five of Swords for the regular Rider-Waite, you've got the bully-looking guy on the beach holding the sword, holding 3 of the swords, and 2 of them are on the ground. And you've got the guys going toward the beach looking like they're crying and they've been thoroughly trounced. This is totally different. These 3 soldiers came after this dragon. This dragon was just minding his own business, and he's not being the bully. He's being the one saying, "Ha, tell me what to do." He's being the victor. So totally different interpretation altogether, but that's okay. We don't have to be so strict with the tarot that we want to force things. See how that shield? And then my camera's not picking it up. I promise y'all I will get a much better camera. But the detail in the cornicing here, let me see if I can, oh, without blinding you, let me see if I can get that up there. There's pictures in there. There's stories in there. This deck is rich with image. Some people might say it's too busy because there is so much going on in the background. But in my case, I actually love busy so I can see, if something catches my eye, I'm going to talk about that. Look at that 6 of Swords. That is absolutely fabulous. That is fabulous. It's got the swords in the boat. It's got the swords in the water. It makes me feel like she's actually taking the time to leave the baggage behind her while she's getting out of that situation. It's just, this deck is beautiful, and it's all artwork or images or city from Prague. Now, this is one of those cards I was talking about that I'm just not okay with because it's so cartoony. But being the kind of deck it is, that it's artwork from Prague, it is in keeping with the rest of the deck. Usually when I see a card that just totally is out of whack with the rest of the deck, I'm like, okay, I'm done. But in this case, I tolerate it because this deck reads so beautifully for me. Just because it reads well for me, it doesn't mean, oops, I got it upside down. Let me turn them around. What happened here? If it reads well for me, it doesn't automatically mean it reads well for you. Choosing a deck is incredibly personal. Just because I like it or dislike it, take the time to get to know it yourself. And this is a wonderful way with these deck reviews that we're doing. Or yeah, deck reviews, decks of the week, because you'll get to see every single card and you'll know. And then when you get your hands on it, you'll be like, oh my gracious. But this is one of those decks, the minute I had it in my hands, I was able to read it. Now you can see some of that detail with the camera. You see how this 9 of Swords, it's very, very much like the Rider-Waite. But in the background, it's got that great big battle going on. And if you know your Rider-Waite, you know that the bed that she's on has that little battle in the bottom on the wood. So this is really cool, the way it keeps the Rider-Waite feel, but it uses the art of Prague to do so. I absolutely love this deck. And like I said, the first time I picked it up, I was able to read with it. No problem. I love this 10 of Swords. And show you my shinies. Ebe. I really like shiny things. And if they'd have put gilded edges on it, oh my God, this deck would be sleeping with me. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah. Here's the Page of Swords. He's one of the statues on one of the buildings, and I find him absolutely stunning. My lights are starting to go a little saying he's a really shiny one. He's gonna, if I'm blinding you, I apologize. And here's the Knight. Oh, look at him. Oh, look at the shinies going on. How about that? I know you guys are drooling. If I'm not blinding you, like, I want the deck. Look at that sunrise in the back on the castle. It's just the detail in this deck is absolutely gorgeous. Queen of Swords, how different she is than the Rider-Waite sword. She just, I don't know. She looks like she's more approachable. She's not that CEO type of girl. I love that card. Here we got the King of Swords. He looks more approachable too. And he's got his bird and the bird in the sky. And then this creature over him. I think it's an angel. Let's see. So now, like I said earlier, most decks, every deck I've met has one card. I do love this. That's kind of violent, but I like it. It really shows how the Ace of Wands shakes stuff up. But most decks will have cards that you are absolutely, oh my God, I love this deck. And other decks, or the same deck will have pictures that you just don't like. I'll point the ones out. But in this deck, I don't know. I just really love this Two of Wands. Totally, totally different feel than the Rider-Waite. But if you know your card, if you take the time to know the deck, you will certainly be able to read it. You just got to see what the art says to you. The gods are smart. They know who's reading. They're going to know what that image says to you. This Three of Wands to me is just absolutely stunning. Well, all of them are. And even that one that I said that, was a little cartoony, they're still stunning. They're still metallic. Look at that. Three of Wands. Now that has a super Three of Cups. Oh, that's the Four of Wands. Is it? Yeah, that's a four. That Four of Wands has a very Three of Cups feel, but it's still that invitation. Come in, come to the party. Let's see. Ooh, I hope you can see this one well. This is some of the stonework in Prague, but it absolutely shows that Five of Wands field. Ah, love it. So I'm going to go through every single card for you so you can see them all, so you can know, ooh, I want that deck, or ooh, I don't want that deck. These are still available in Baba Studios. It's babastudios.com or babastore.com. They do not have this size anymore. They have the large size in the wooden box, and they're just as beautiful. They have the cold cast. That's the Seven of Wands. But they're huge. They're like the size of a paperback book. Some people really, really love the bigger cards. Look at that Eight of Wands. Look at that. Oh, they're all just so shiny. And little angel falling out of the sky. Cherub. The Nine of Wands. But they are still available in the large size. I I would recommend, if you really want these, to get them just so you have them. I do not know if Baba Studio will be making another reprint. Like I said, this is the third edition, the cold cast edition. So they may make one in the future, but right now there's a rumor going on that Baba Studios is going to close because of all the BS going on in the tarot industry, where people are jacking images and selling the decks for $5 and just piracy. It's pure piracy. So like I said, if you're gonna get this deck, make sure you have that card that shows that it's an original and that it came. Okay, I just look, squirrel. I get distracted easy, so bear with me. This is my favorite card in the deck. It's got the clock in Prague and the Knight of Wands, and I think that is the most absolute beautiful, beautiful Knight of Wands I've ever seen. It's not only my favorite card from this deck, but it's one of my favorite cards out of all of my favorite tarot decks. And you guys know, well, you might not know. If you haven't met me yet, I'm a complete Page of Wands fiend. I love the Page of Wands. So for me, if the Page of Wands doesn't cut it, I'm not going to buy a deck. And you better have a fish. This is the Queen of Wands. Love it. Very, oh, see that gold edging coming up? And let me know in the comments section, King of Wands, if I'm going too fast for you, or if I'm going too slow for you, or if you want me to talk more about the individual cards. Now, you don't want me talking too long on cards here, because you'll be here for hours, and Nobody wants that. But as you can see, all the images have backgrounds from Prague or artwork from Prague. The coins are just absolutely beautiful. Here's another little cartoony one. I do believe that he is a painting in Prague, though, so I'm not going to complain too much. I just, every now and then they are a little jarring to me because they're so out of sync with the rest of the pictures. I do prefer my decks to have some kind of continuity to them, but this one is so beautiful and so freaking readable for me that okay, yeah, I keep getting distracted. Y'all have to forgive me. This three of coins, if you know the traditional meaning of the three of coins, like every book has this of the master of um how do you say, a master of what he does. This is Stradivarius. I mean, you hear Stradivarius, you know it's a daggone good violin. This is the master card. It's really difficult to interpret it any other way, but that's okay because if you're using this deck and he comes up, you know, there he is. The four of coins, love that. You see how those coins are so shiny? I'm so excited. When I got this deck, at first I was afraid I couldn't read with it. Look at that. That's so beautiful. And that's some of the stonework. That is just so incredibly Five of Pentacles. But when I first got this deck, I was afraid I couldn't read with it. It was just it was alien to me. And I was kind of afraid to use it because I didn't want to ruin it, but I take care with them. Um, I called a friend on Skype and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love for you to read with me, even if it sucks because you don't know what you're doing with this deck." This is by far the most readable deck for me out of the box. And that's just because I had such a rapport with them. Now you may look at them and go, "Oh, those are horrible. I could never read with those." That's okay. I don't mind. You got to be reading with the decks that you're drawn to. That's the end all be all. If it speaks to you, it speaks to you and it'll make you a much better reader. Don't go choosing decks because someone likes or dislikes them. My opinion is great, but it it doesn't affect how you read or what you read with. But this way you can see all these beautiful, this nine of coins just blows me away. And you can see the metal code casting up there. But leave in the comments again if I'm going too fast, if I'm going too slow, if I'm getting too distracted by the cards. Comment or no, I'm a squirrel. I'm going to get distracted, so just bear with me. I love this. Love this Ten of Pentacles. And look, they still kept the dog and the lady in the background. So even though they're not a Rider-Waite quote unquote clone, which I prefer Rider-Waite clones, they still have a lot of Rider-Waite imagery in them, but they're unique and they're their own, and they are definitely interpreted in a different way. Look at that. Is that a fox? I'm gonna have to look at it. It's a dog. It's a greyhound. I don't know if you can see it. I'm really trying to figure out how to do this without blinding you. I have to have light. Uh, Queen of Pentacles. Look at that. I'm not too sure about this one. I know he's a statue. Yeah, he is all gilded. Let me see if I can get it in an angle. He is, all of that is gilded. Or cold cast, I should say. Definitely. And some of them are less cold cast than others, but it's not an in-your-face cold cast. It actually moves with the light. I love that Ace of Cups. Of course I would. I'm Leo. The Two of Cups. This one bothers me a little bit because they're made of stone, and I think that's counterintuitive to the actual Two of Cups feel. But like I said, it's different art. It'll come across a different way. Haven't gotten this one in a reading yet, so I have absolutely no idea how I would interpret it, but I'm really positive that if it comes up in a reading with this deck, I'll be able to handle it. This I love. This I absolutely love. This is one of the best three of cups I have ever seen. Don't know if you can see her well, but up here in the corner, let me see if I can do this at an angle where you can see her. There's an angel pouring their wine or their drink. So even the heavens are happy with their victory or their success, and they have nothing to hide from each other. I love the fact that they're naked because they're not hiding anything. They're true friends. They support and love each other. I love, love, love that. This is one of the actual paintings. You can see by the blurriness that's impressionist art. Absolutely gorgeous. Little sheep over there. I wonder if it's eating his shoes. I like how all the courts seem to be statues that actually exist in Prague. This deck single-handedly made me want to go to Prague so bad I could just choke. This one's odd to me. It looks like little old people, like tiny little old people fighting. And that's like so different than the Rider Waite, that it kind of throws me for a loop. But again, art changes the entire meaning. Never, ever, ever try to force one deck's meaning into another deck's artwork. You just shooting yourself in the foot. It makes you have to memorize the cards, and as we all know, memorization just it kicks into Virgo mode, and it totally blocks your intuition. So you want to look at the images and see what they say to you. There's the Nine of Cups, almost to the trumps, the major arcana. Now, for this particular deck, I actually like the minor arcana better. They're just more alive and so beautiful. Now, the majors are beautiful too, but they're a little more static because they are those archetypes and those overall things. That is like one of the best Knight of Cups ever. Look at that. Is that a Don Quixote card or what? Let me see. Let me see. My Page of Cups. I got to go back to that. This was almost a no keeper for me because my fish isn't there, but he is with a mermaid, so I forgave him. I gotta have my fish. But there's my little Don Quixote, Knight of Cups. I freaking love that. It's amazing. This Queen of Cups, are you ready for this? Oh my gracious. Let me see if I can do it without blinding you. How beautiful is that? Look at him. Look at him. Oh my God. And then the little baby on the back. She is stunning. She's regal. She's beautiful. That is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Another one of those that went all cartoony, but again, original artwork. Let me get these things under control. They're trying to go crazy. I think my hand's getting a little tired. Yeah. Give yourself a break for a second. So here's the Fool, and he's on the back of a statue, and he's got his little dog with him, but they're on the rooftops. And I really like that. I like that they kept the height and the ledge and the possibility there. This is the Magician. Ah, he's beautiful. And all this in the background. I moved it just so you could see. Did you see it pop into to focus there? Where the background, there's like murals behind him and action and things going on. This deck is truly just amazing. The High Priestess. Let me see if I can do that again so she can pop. Oh yeah, you see those pillars And the background, let me make sure that's pomegranates. No, she doesn't have her pomegranates. I never noticed that before. We'll forgive her. The Empress, see all that behind her? All the stonework and every little piece of these has something going on. And the Emperor, I guess that's his muscle. Now this is one Hierophant, and I don't know if I like him or not. I have an issue with the Hierophant, in case you haven't met me yet. Hierophants always, when they come across as authority figures, I, I get a little like, so just forgive me. Whenever I see a Hierophant, I'll let you know, but generally I am not a Hierophant fan. But he's important. He's part of life. He's part of life. Let's see, the Lovers. That is actually one of it's like in an alcove in Prague. That's the painting around it and the stonework. It's freaking beautiful. The Chariot, I love that he is actually in the sky with the sun, Apollo. Love that. Strength. And see behind her, the man like pulling the lion's mouth open in the gray. Yes. Just everything about these cards. And the caw factor is what got me. But I fell in love with this deck. Our Hermit, he's actually in town, shining his light. The Wheel of Fortune. And I like how they put all the little stone statues in reading their books, like the Rider-Waite Wheel of Fortune has. I love that. They all the elements are present reading their books. Justice. That's really cool. Wow. Can you imagine balancing on the back of an elephant? It's like total balance. The Hanged Man. Let me see if I can show you some of that. All those details and that damn cold casting just kills me. Now there are 2 Death cards and 2 Sun cards in this edition. This one, let me see if I can get it up. All of those people in the back are skeletons. That's a little too close, I think. Those are skeletons. And this guy right here is a human, flesh human, flesh bag. Beautiful card. And this is the other Death card. Let me see if I can get that to where you can really see it, where the skeleton is down and then all the writhing bodies above him. I think he's in the boat on the river Styx. Temperance. And you can see, I like how they showed that the water's above her, or the fluid in the cup is above her, going from cup to cup and actually defying gravity. I'm a little sad that some elements are missing, but because they put that cup above with the fluid going from cup to cup like that, it makes up for it. Oh, the Devil. Can you imagine walking around the corner and seeing that carved into a building? Holy mother cows. I'd be turning around and walking the other way. The Tower. This card is so alive. I so need a better camera. When I get a better camera, I'm going to do this deck again, and when I get my lighting right, because the nuances that you're missing, I've been able to show you some of them, but this is just amazing. The Star. And I don't know if you can see it, but behind her, they've got the picture on the wall, the drawing of another woman doing the same thing. And you know what? I really, really like that these are real bodies. They're not all perfect and what is it, photoshopped? The moon. Love that moon. There's our little lobster. And there's the dog. So we've got some of those elements, but she is a completely different image, a completely different emotional response than the moon that we would see in the Rider-Waite. The sun, not sure what I think about that one. Still an easy to read deck, but this is one of those cards that I'm a little iffy on, and this one's worse for me. Some of you may absolutely love these. I think I actually like the baby with the toy horse better. And Judgment. Let's see all the grave sites back there. And of course, the world. All our elements are present. That's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. So that is the Tarot of Prague. Again, write down in the comments if I went too fast, too slow. Some of you will disagree. Let me know if there are any decks that you would like to see. If I own it, I will be happy to do it. We're going to be taking turns, and you'll be seeing Khalid, Mandy, and Cassidy doing a deck of the week as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some really great things that we want to do with these that you guys are going to really enjoy these. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you next month with my next deck of the week. Bye now.